जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवने कोरजा चरण वंदन। जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवने कोरजा चरण वंदन। श्री राधा भावे बेगोरावतार, श्री राधा भावे बेगोरावतार। हरे कृष्ण नाम गौर कोरिला प्रचार, हरे कृष्ण नाम गौर कोरिला प्रचार। वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ, वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ। जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ, जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ। जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवने कोरजा चरण वंदन। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Mangalacharan. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Dhyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitanscha. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschati Joshitari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prabhu, everybody can see the screen, Prabhu? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Mother.
So we are in the Madhya Lila, and Madhya Lila is full of Adan Pradan. We can say reciprocation of the devotees, feelings of the devotees, and the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord, reciprocation of the devotees. This helps us very much in advancing our Krishna conscious. A sincere sadhaka, a practicing devotee who wants to progress in spiritual life or Krishna consciousness, for them, Madhya Lila studying onwards, Madhya Lila onwards means Madhya Lila and Anta Lila, studying scrutinizingly is very important. Adi Lila, that is like little informative or little lengthy. So much information we can get from Adi Lila. But Madhya Lila, along with the philosophy, we will get so many expressions, so many rasas. So very carefully we have to follow the Madhya Lila. We have to study also. So Madhya Lila, we know before giving the details, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami, in this first chapter, he documented the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 24 to 30. Everybody knows this one. So in this already we have gone through up to 189 shlokas. Today we will start with 190th shloka. So in that, so many sections are covered already. 175 to 181, this set of sections describes Srila Rupa Goswami's conversation with the Nawab Shah. Already we have gone through. Then 182 to 206 shlokas, this particular section, it covers Srila Rupa Goswami's Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, they meet the Lord, and Lord's reply, we can see this section. Especially 189 and 190 explains Srila Rupa Goswami Pad and Srila Sanatana Goswami, who were that time Dabir Kas and Sakara Mallika, they meet the Lord and they are surrendering and they are talking to the Lord, my dear Lord, please save us. So in that they are surrendering in a mood, we are very fallen, the most fallen. In fact, they are explaining they are more fallen than Jagai and Madai. 189 and 190, we will see the reasons why they are mentioning they are fallen. We will do a recap. Already 188, 189 over. We will see some important points and a recap. Then afterwards, the important section 191 to 197, how they are sinful, they are explaining. Actually, this section contains so many important points and so many lessons for a sincere sadhakas. So, hopefully, we will finish this section. If time permits, then we will go further. But today, mainly, we will focus on 191 to 197 and the mood of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. We will see the mood. So 188, they started with the glorification. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Dayamaya Patita Pavana Jaya Mahashaya. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful savior of the fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality. We see throughout the scriptures, or especially Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, continuously he glorifies devotees. Whether it is Mahaprabhu, whether it is Panchatattva, or whether it is Srila Vrindavanadasa Thakura, continuously he glorifies. That is actually a etiquette we should follow. We have, as a sadhakas in Krishna consciousness, we should also practice this one very sincerely. Then after glorifying, they started why they are fallen. This 189 and 190 are the important shlokas. They mentioning Nicha Jati Nicha Sange Kari Nicha Gaja Tomara Agrete Prabhu Kahite Vasilaja. They mentioning, sir, we belong to the lowest class of men and our associates and employment are also of the lowest type. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing here before you. Look at their humbleness and their humility. Here the sloka is starting with Nicha Jati. Nicha Jati, classified among the fallen, means fallen Jati. Why they are mentioning like that one? We can see. In the Shastras, from the Shastras, we can understand two things. two things. One, service and association. These two things are glorified very extremely when they are in positive side. When our service and when our association is good and in the right path, they are glorified very highly and very extremely. But in the same, these two factors, two things, service and association, if it is in the negative side, they are very much condemned and they are very much criticized. Since these two brothers, Dabir Kas and Sakara Malik, they are associated with the Mlechas and Yavanas, especially Nawab authorization. So they are mentioning Nicha Jati, Nicha Sangi. So we have to understand. That's why they are, since they are association with the Mlechas, they are considered very much degraded. That's why they are telling we cannot introduce ourselves. We feel very much ashamed. They are meat eaters and their acts were abominable. So we are continuously associating with them. So we are ashamed. Even though they are Brahmanas, but in that situation, they were associating with the Nawab and other people. So they are mentioning the same association and service if we utilize in the right path. Srimad Bhagavatam telling Susrusho Shraddhadanascha Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. If you are utilizing in the right side, what will happen? It develops the taste for devotional service. Susrusho Shraddha Danascha. Shraddha, it develops Shraddha, and what with Shraddha, if we serve the devotees, what will happen? Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. Devotional service are Vasudeva Katha, we will develop the Ruchi. That's why service and association is very much important in the lives of Krishna conscious devotees. We also personally see, we can see and we are experiencing already. If we are utilizing, if we are associating continuously with senior devotees or pure devotees, how our day, how our consciousness, it is very pleasing. Suppose if we are not able to associate with pure devotees, then how it will be? So we can see if these two things, if we are utilizing in the right prospect, then we can see a tremendous development in our Krishna conscious or in our sadhana. So these two brothers, they know it very well because they were studying so many shastras. No? Already they have studied. So they are presenting in that way, my dear Lord, because our association and our service, we are doing to a Mlechas or Yavanas, meat eaters, we are condemned, we are degraded. Actually, these two brothers were very, very intelligent. Then Nawab Shah has threatened them, if you don't assist me, if you don't join with me, then I will trouble Hindus more. Actually, to protect that one, that time they were named of Amar and Santosha, Hindus, Santosh, Hindus. So they thought, okay, if we assist the Nawab Shah, at least Hindus will not be troubled. I will just take taxes from the Hindus and I will let them go. Otherwise, I will trouble them like anything. We already seen many people that the ritualistic programs will be stopped, like that. So much of troubles Hindus has to face. That's why they thought, okay, let assist the Nawab. But after assisting, the Nawab changed the names. He gave the name Dabir Kas and Sakara Malika. Like other Muslims, other people in the assembly, they have to uh, uh, grow the long beard, and they have to sit with them. In the court also, they have to assist the Nawab, and the Nawab is having so many abominable things like maintaining the slaughterhouses and stopping the rituals of Hindus, but they couldn't able to resist. So these all things and all, they have to share the resultant karmas also. That's why we have serving such a person. So that's why we are condemned, and we are very much ashamed of that one. So they are presenting the both brothers, and they are requesting the mercy of the Mahaprabhu. This is the up to 189. The humble mood of the Srila Rupa Goswami Pad and Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, we can see. And the mood continues. They from the 190, today we will start the this section, text 190. Matulyo nasti papatma na paradina kaschana pariharepi lajjami kimbruve purushottama. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord, let us inform you that no one is more sinful than us, nor is there any offender like us. Even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed, and what to speak of giving up them. Here Srila Prabhupada is explaining, one becomes abominable by adopting an abominable profession, or by associating with people who are naturally abominable. It's like a formula Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in 189. So then the question may arise, Mataji, how this is possible in this present yuga, a present time, especially we are from Middle East and we are working, many other people are working in Western countries. How this is possible? We may arise, but actually, if we are serving a abominable profession, abominable person, we also need to share. That's why we have to protect ourselves by sincere chanting, sincere reading, sincere sadhana. We have to maintain to protect ourselves. So these two brothers, they are telling, my dear Lord, we are very much ashamed, and how we will introduce ourselves, they are mentioning. We see, previously it was explained also, the Nicha Jati, it is mentioned. So there we can see, Prabhupada has explained three kinds of births. One birth is from mother, one birth is from samskaras, like Janmana Jayate Shudra. It is explained Shastra. By birth, actually, everybody is Shudra. But by following samskaras, actually, if we go into deeper samskaras, it will become one more class or two more classes. So samskaras, especially importantly, Dasavida samskaras are important. Like Namakarana, from starting to actually Garbhadana samskara to Dahana samskara. In between, important samskaras are there. Namakarana, Annaprasana, then Vidya, starting, what we will do some samskara. So like that, we need to follow those samskaras especially. Then we become Dvija, Brahmana. Then afterwards, third birth will be given by Gurudev, spiritual birth, initiation we can say. So that's why these two brothers were telling, these three are the order. Instead of progressing ourselves, we are associating with the mlechas, so we are condemned. Then 191, Patita Pavana Hetu Tomara Avatara Amabai Jagate Patita Nahiara. The two brothers submitted, dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. They are mentioning nobody has fallen as like us, they are uh, uh, mentioning because of our association. Look at how we are fortunate to associate with Srila Prabhupada mission. Is it not? How much we are fortunate, even though we are in Middle East or somewhere else, but very great fortune, we could able to get the chance to associate with Srila Prabhupada and his devotees and Srila Prabhupada's mission by dedicating our lives to Srila Prabhupada. Our lives also become glorious, because when we associate with the great people, great institutions, we also become great. So these two brothers, they were expressing that one. They are mentioning, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. And they are mentioning, you are considered that in this world, there is none so fallen as us. 192. जगाई मादाई तो ये करी ले उद्धारा ताहान उद्धारिते श्रमा नाहिला तुम्हारा. Then now they have started explaining the reasons why they are so fallen. So up to 197 shlokas, it is very important. How come we see the reasons? How these two brothers, they are mentioning they are fallen than Jagai Madai. Look at their mood. You have delivered two brothers, Jagai and Madai, but to deliver them, you did not have any exert yourself very much. Brahmana jati tara navadvipe gara, nicha seva nahi kare, nahi nichera kar kurpara. The brothers Jagai and Madai belonged to the Brahmana caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvipa. They never served low-class persons, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. For delivering Jagai Madai, you no need to exert yourself very much. But for us, we are much fallen than them, then you have to shower your mercy. Why Jagai Madai? To deliver Jagai Madai, Lord has not exerted much. They explaining, because they are basically, they have taken birth in Brahmana caste, and their residents, they are residers of Navadvipa. It is not an ordinary thing to get a birth in Brahmana caste. Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yogo Nashta Vijayate. Krishna is explaining in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if somebody, they started devotional service and they couldn't finish their devotional service, they will get chance to take birth in highly rich, wealthy families, or devotees families, or holy places, we can understand. So it is not ordinary thing. They are having some matlab Agnya Sukriti or Purva Janma Punji, we will say, that they are having. Otherwise, how come they born into Brahmana caste and their residence, especially the residence is in the holy place. So they are, even though they are fallen, but they are having previous pious credit. They never served low-class persons. We served the Yavanas, but in their case, Jagai Madai case, they never served the low-class persons, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. See, look at, because the association, they may fall, but they never served the low-class persons. Like the two brothers were serving the Nawab, Yavanas. Then 194, Sabe eka dosha tara haye papa chara, papa rashida he, nama base tumhara. Jaga and Madai had but one fault. They were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. Nama base tomara. Even though, chalo, they are sinful, they are addicted to sinful. But all their sins, even though they are like mountains of mountains, but all those sins are burned by the dint of Nama Basa, by the shadow, by the dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. How this happened? One time it happened, Nimai Pandit, they used to do so much long kirtans in Srivasangan, we know. One time, Nimai Pandit has done the Sankirtana at Srivasangan, Thakur's house, and he is coming outside. That time, these Jagai and Madai were, they were drunken and they were in intoxicated stage. They were calling, hey, Nimai Pandit. Your kirtan was good, yeah. We were hearing. Your kirtan was good. They were talking like this in the intoxicated stage. But it is Nimai Pandit, even being a Supreme Lord, he has taken, it is given them to a pious credit. Agnata Sukriti, it became a Agnata Sukriti. So, these two brothers, they got delivered by Supreme Lord. So they are having their pious credit, but we are not like that. We are continuously associating. So, my dear Lord, you have to shower mercy. Actually, when a disciple approaches to the Guru or senior devotees, actually, the sadhaka, the neophyte devotee has to be in this humble mood. They have to be in this humble mood. Then they will get the mercy. Humbleness only attracts the mercy. That is the reason. These purports are important, so we will go to this purport, 194 purport. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami presented themselves as being lower than the two brothers Jagai and Madai, who were delivered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Srila Rupa and Sanatana compared themselves to Jagai and Madai, they found themselves inferior because the Lord had no trouble in delivering two drunken brothers. So you have delivered the drunken brothers Jagai and Madai. So please deliver, please accept us also, they are requesting. This was so because despite the fact that they were addicted to sinful activity, in other ways their life was brilliant because they were in the holy Dham. They belong to Brahmana caste of Navadvipa, and such Brahmanas are very pious in nature. Although they had been addicted to some sinful activities due to bad association, those unwanted things could vanish simply because of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Another point for Jagai and Madai was that as members of Brahmana family, they did not accept service under anyone. Brahmana's duty, they should not accept any service under anybody. But here, these two brothers, Rupa Goswami Pad and Sanatana Goswami, they have accepted, and being born in a Brahmana caste, they have accepted the job under the Nawab, the two Mlecha. That's why they were feeling they are very fallen. The Shastra strictly forbade a Brahmana to accept service under anyone. The idea is that by accepting a master, one accepts the occupation of a dog. In other words, a dog cannot thrive without having a master. And for the sake of pleasing the master, dogs offend many people. Srila Prabhupada is giving very grave statement here. By serving materialistic master, one becomes a sinful dog. Sometimes by the order of the master, dogs has to bark on innocent people. So they have to follow the master. That's why it is mentioned like that. Similarly, when one is servant, he has no perform abominable activities according to the orders of master. Therefore, when Dabir Kasa and Sankra Malika compared their position to that Jagai and Madai, they found Jagai and Madai position far better. Jagai and Madai never accepted the position of serving a low-class person, nor they forced to execute abominable activities under the order of low-class master. Jagai and Madai chanted the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by way of blasphemy. But because they simply chanted his name, they immediately became free from reactions of sinful activities. Thus, later they were saved. So, these two brothers were explaining, like us, Jagai Madai, they did not serve low-class master. But in case of us, we have done that one. So, my dear Lord, please save us, they are requesting. 195. Tomara namalana, tomara karila nindana, sei nama haila tara muktira karana. Not only that, Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, the holy name became the cause of their deliverance. Maybe they uttered your holy name in a blaspheming mood, Jagai Madai. But that holy name is having that much power. Abhinnatva nama namino. There is no difference between nama and the Lord, Nami. There is no difference. That way, that is very powerful. The holy name, the power of that holy name has burnt all their sins. And the holy name and this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not an ordinary thing. We know. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. Such powerful holy name has destroyed their sins. So, Jagai Madai position is much, much better than as they are mentioning. 196. Jagai Madai hote koti koti guna, Adama patita papi amidoi jana. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. Papi, Adama patita papi. Koti koti guna. Millions and millions of times. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. Ye devotees also, we need to think like that. We are fallen than anybody else, than other devotees. By that, we can develop humility. The moment we think we are greater than the other people, other devotees, or we have done some so much service and we are better than the other people, the moment we will get fall down. So, practicing devotees, we need to be very careful in our consciousness. We have to think we are not anything special, or we are great. This feeling condemns ours, and it will make us fallen. So we need to be very careful. So after 197 we will do some important points. This purport is a little bit longer. Mlecha jati mlecha sevi kari mlecha karma go brahmana drohi sange amara sangama. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of meat eaters because we always associate with such people. We are inimical toward the cows and brahmanas. They are mentioning here the powerful word go brahmana drohi. they are mentioning like that. Even though they are born in a Brahmana family, but with association with the Mlechas, they are also started become Mlecha. It is mentioned, they are mentioning, it is not like that actually. They were actually waiting and longing to meet the Lord and to get the association of the Supreme Lord. Actually, we should take that to us. By bad association, we also become like them only. But if we associate to the pure devotees, Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra, then Vasudeva Katha Ruchi, then the Ruchi to the Vasudeva Katha will develop. So we should remember always this one, purport. There are two kinds of meat eaters. Srila Prabhupada is explaining this purport very elaborately because this is very important. We have to go through all the points in this. One who is born in a family of meat eaters and one who has learned to associate with meat eaters. From Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, formerly Dabir Kasa and Sakara Mallika, we can learn how one attains the character of a meat eater simply by associating with meat eaters. At the present moment in India, the presidential offices are occupied by many so-called Brahmanas, but the state maintains slaughterhouses for killing cows and makes propaganda against Vedic civilization. The first principle of Vedic civilization is the avoidance of meat eating and intoxication. The first principle of Vedic civilization, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. Actually, Srila Prabhupada repeats this principle throughout his books. Many places we find this one. Only by following this Brahmana culture and maintaining, protecting the cows, we can establish Vedic civilization again. So, slaughterhouses and all, that's why International Society for Krishna Consciousness, it opposes and it strictly stick to this principle. We have seen many temples follow this one very strictly. Presently in India, intoxication and meat eating are encouraged, and so-called learned Brahmanas presiding over this state of affair have certainly become degraded according to the standard given herein by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. These so-called Brahmanas gave sanction to slaughterhouses for the sake of a fat salary and they do not protest these abominable activities. By deprecating the principles of Vedic civilization and supporting cow killing, they are immediately degraded to the platform of Nechas and Yavanas. A Mlecha is a meat eater and a Yavana is one who has deviated from the Vedic literature. Unfortunately, such Mlechas and Yavanas are in executive power. How then can there be a peace and prosperity in the state? The king or the president must be representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Maharaja Yudhishthira accepted the rule of Bharatavarsha, formerly this entire planet including all the seas and land, he took sanction from authorities like Bhishma Deva and Lord Krishna. He thus ruled the entire world according to religious principle. At the present moment, however, heads of state do not care for religious principles. If religious people vote on an issue, even though it be against the principles of the Shastras, the bills will be passed. The present and heads of state become sinful by agreeing to such abominable activities. Sanatana and Rupa Goswamis pleaded guilty to such activities. They therefore classified themselves among Mlechas, although they had been born in a Brahmana family. So the two brothers were pleading Mahaprabhu by associating with meat eaters, they also attained the character of meat eaters. So if we associate with the meat eaters, our character also become like that. Being the ministers in the Nawab Shah government, these two brothers sometimes Unfortunately, what happens? They supports the they should give permission to the slaughterhouses, and they should give permissions to some abominable activities, like we discussed, like restrictions to Hindus or religious activities. So they were feeling so guilty, and we served such type of a mlecha. If the structure of the Srila Prabhupada purports, if we notice, we can understand Prabhupada explains the problems in the present time also, and he gives the solutions also. Sometimes we see personal application also, we will get in the purport itself, and mood and mission also Prabhupada gives. Philosophy also he gives. So many sections in the purport we can get. The one who are studying Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhakti Shastri, they might knowing the writing the OBS. So if you study, if you observe the purports, we will see the Prabhupada's arrangement. So first section Prabhupada is giving how it is happening in the present India. Then Prabhupada is giving the solutions. The great saintly kings like Maharaja Yudhishthira, how they has ruled the kingdom, and how the present society, present leaders and all, they are not follow any standards. But the Rajarshis are the saintly kings like Maharaja Yudhishthira and all, they are not like that. Scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, we find so much of good administration we can see. Especially fourth canto, Prithu Maharaja is giving so many guidelines to the administrations we can see. So these two brothers, they were feeling so much condemned, so much guilty, and they are requesting Mahaprabhu like this. So up to here, they were presenting the points. We will see Jagai Madai positive points they were mentioning. They are mentioning they are better. How the Jagai Madai and better? Even though they are addicted to sinful activities, but they are freed by the strength of the holy name they mentioned. And high birth, high parentage. High birth means they born in a Brahmana caste, that too in the holy Dvip. They never served under anybody. That is one more point. And the both Jagai Madai, they never forced to execute abominable activities under such low class master. But ulta, these two brothers, they have done they even though it is forbidden to a Brahmana to accept service, they accepted. And after accepting the low class master, they have to do some abominable activities. Here Prabhupada is given an analogy. By accepting a master, one accepts the occupation of a dog. Dog cannot thrive without having a master. Prabhupada is explaining. And similarly, one is a servant. He has to perform abominable activities according to the orders of the master. These are the important points up to 197. 191 to 197 we have to remember. 198, Mora karma mora hate, galaya bandiya, kubishaya vistagarte diyache felaya. The two brothers, Sakara Mallika and Dabir Kasa, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they are now bound by the neck and hands and had been thrown into the ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material enjoyment. They were feeling actually from longing from long time to associate with Mahaprabhu. Their hearts were filled with so much frustration. And now somehow they thought, bahut ho gaya. We will tell, na, bahut ho gaya, abhi bahut ho gaya. Now, no, nothing further like that. Na? They came to that level. They were telling, Now we are bound by neck and hands, and we have thrown into ditch filled abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. My dear Lord, please save us. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura has explained Ku Vishaya Garta as follows. Because of the activities of the senses, we become subjected to many sense gratificationary process and are thus entangled by the laws of nature. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura is explaining very much. He is telling because of the activities of the senses. Correct? Now we become subjected to many sense gratificationary process. When we go for preaching, we see this formula literally we see. Many devotees, some devotees, they accept, that is very rare, but most of the people, most of the common people, what they say, no, Mataji, no, Prabhuji, we can't do. If we come to Krishna consciousness, we need to get up early in the morning. And 16 rounds of chanting, who will chant? My grandfather, who is 84 years now, my grandmother passed away several years before. Every year when I meet my grandfather, I will tell, Grandpa, please chant. This is the only means of the way to deliver. My grandpa will say, Sridevi, I can't even catch the mala, he will say. I ask, why? He will say, my mind is not at all focused. I will say, no, focus will come by the so much of practice. Focus will not come at a stretch. But even though he say, no. But his sons and all, he couldn't able to adjust and they are not taking care of him properly. Always he will cry. He will tell that this my son did like this, my daughter-in-law did like this, my grandchildren did like this. Then I say, I told you, if you chant, you will not depend on their mercy. You will be yourself. But he will not mind it. Because this is the formula. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura is explaining. Because we are subjected to many sense gratificationary process with our senses. So our senses are bound so much, our senses are so much addicted to the sense gratificationary process. So always we will try to find the happiness in material prospects only. That is the problem. But when once we get surrendered and we started the chanting sincerely, here this word is very important word. This is sincere. If our endeavors are not sincere, whether it is chanting, whether it is a service, then obviously we will not be progress. One may complain, why? I am doing service from so many years. I am not getting any happiness. If you are not serving, you will not get the happiness. This entanglement is called Vishaya. So we are entangled in these matters. When the sense gratificationary process are executed by pious activity, they are called Suvishaya. Su means always good. Su, Sukham. Su, Vishaya. So those are good. The word Su means good and Vishaya means sense objects. When the sense gratificationary process activities are performed under sinful conditions, they are called Kuvishaya. So if we are doing bad sense enjoyments, then it is called Kuvishaya. In either case, either Kuvishaya or Suvishaya, these are material activities. As such, they are compared to stool. Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy. If you are bounded, whether it is iron chain or whether it is gold chain, you are bounded only. You should not be proud like, oh, I have bounded with a gold chain. No. Bondage is bondage. Bound means bound only. You should not feel proud for that. In other words, such things are to be avoided. To become free from Suvishaya and Kuvishaya, One must engage himself in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. The activities of devotional service are free from the contamination of material activities. Therefore, to be free from reactions of Suvishaya and Kuvishaya, one must take to Krishna consciousness. Yagnarthat karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhanaha. Tadardam karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, shloka number 9. So we need to understand, if we work for the Supreme Lord, then only we will not get into bondage. Then we will not, whether it is Kuvishaya or whether it is Suvishaya, we have to come out of the bondage. In that way, one will save himself from the contamination. In this connection, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura has sung, Karma Kanda Jnana Kanda Kevala Vishera Banda Amrita Baliya Yebakaya Nana Yoni Sada Fire Kadarya Bhakshana Kare Tara Janma Ada Pateyaya. Suvishaya and Kuvishaya both fall under the category of Karma Kanda. There is another kanda, platform of activity called Jnana Kanda or philosophical speculation about the effects of Kuvishaya and Suvishaya with the intention to find out the means of deliverance from material entanglement. Jnana Kanda means that is only philosophy or only on the platform of theoretical. So, on the platform of Jnana Kanda, one may give up the objects of Kuvishaya and Suvishaya, but that is not the perfection of life. Perfection is transcendental to both Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda. It is on the platform of devotional service. If we do not take devotional service to Krishna consciousness, we have to remain within this material world and endure the repetition of birth and death due to the effects of Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda. Therefore, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura says, Nana Yoni Sada Fire Kandarya Bhakshana Kare Tara Janma Adapateyaya. So, we need to understand no Jnana Kanda, no Karma Kanda. We need to come in the Bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvataha. 18th chapter, 55 shloka, Krishna is telling, Bhaktas only can know me. He doesn't say Jnana Kanda knows me, or Karma Kandis know me. Bhaktyama abhijanati. So we need to accept. Even though if you're in the platform of Jnana Kanda, it won't help you to become perfect. So everybody has to find out their means of deliverance from the material entanglement, and they have to take up the devotional service very sincerely. Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is mentioning 7.5.30, it is mentioning those who have made up their minds to remain in this material world and enjoy sense gratification cannot become Krishna consciousness. So if you already make up your mind, okay, like, okay, aapko idhar hi sadna chahte ho to sado. It's like that. Because of their attachment to material activity, they cannot attain liberation, either by the instructions of superior persons or by their own endeavor, or by passing resolutions in big conferences. Baaton se kuch nahi chalega. We need to practice. Whatever we understand from the Shastras, we have to bring practically. Here, I would like to stop here. I thought of finishing up to 199 or 200 at least, but time is now already 9 o'clock. We will stop here. So, the two brothers, Sakara Mallika, Dabarkas and Sakara Mallika, they started explaining why they are so fallen than Jagai and Madai. And we have seen the many, so many points with uncontrolled senses and all, how we will be always in the darkness, we will become abominable, and how with the association and with the great service, sincere service, how we can be glorious, we have to realize. Prabhuji, anybody is having any doubts? I will try to explain.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, pranams.
Sriprada Mataji ki jai. Excellent class Mataji. And sometimes when you add some Hindi language like chalta hai, that becomes sune pe swaga, really very attractive. And there are many points to take over from the today's class. Like the scriptures, they are spotless. Like we say, Bhagavatam is spotless. They throw everything to whatever, even the demigods, whoever may be, they put the right words. They do not compromise. Similarly, we in this verse, in this today's class, also many things are there we have learned. So, like we should not be instrument, for the to propagating the sinful activities. Okay, so that is also a very good point. It touched me. But what is our position, Mataji? We are in this Middle East, and by directly or indirectly, we are also instrument to do abominable activities towards cows and brahmanas. So, can you tell something about it?
Thank you for the wonderful question, Prabhu. Actually, this question applies to everybody, correct, na? Because most of us we are from Middle East only. So actually, first of all, we have to realize, Prabhu, then Srila Prabhupada is giving solution also. Wherever we stay, we can turn that place into Vrindavan, our holy place. We can turn. How? By sincere chanting, by sincere service, we can make it holy dhams also. That's why Srila Prabhupada used to given in Western countries, new Vrindavan Dham, new Jagannath Puri, like that. We see by continuous devotional service, we can maintain the situation, Prabhu. And practically ourselves, if we think by contributing the charity is the one way. One time, one of our senior devotee in front of us, when we are in KKD, asked Srila Gurudev, I wanted to come to Mayapur and I wanted to serve you personally. Then immediately Guru Maharaj said, no, I'm not agreeing with that. I will not give you instruction. You be here and you serve more. Then he told, I had earned enough, Guru Maharaj, so I want to come and serve you. Then Guru Maharaj told, I was there personally. Then Guru Maharaj told, you earn more and you give me. You give the assist Krishna consciousness movement and you assist Srila Prabhupada mission. You can contribute in so many ways. That is also one service. Like that, Gurudev mentioned. So, according to your nature, your Siksha Guru and your Diksha Guru will give you some specific instructions, Prabhu. So when you express this to your mentors or your Guru, then some people who are very much empowered in the preaching, Gurudev, they may ask, oh, you need to develop so many Bhakti Rikshas, you need to preach like that. Like that, we can follow our authority, Prabhu. According to the authority, we can. But mainly, by maintaining our sincere sadhana, and especially as a Gruhasthas, we have to contribute more charity. By that also, our earnings will get purified. This is my personal experience, Prabhu. I have seen many realizations in this matter, Prabhu. Thank you for the question, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Mata. This is very nice point. We should give charity so that our earning will be purified. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Any other Prabhuji and Mataji, any question they can ask?
Udarsham Prabhu has raised his hand. Yes, Udarsham Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thank you very much. It was nice explanation and very good class as usual. Mataji, same question which Prabhu asked, I just did a little extension in that one. We know, Mataji, we are serving them malechas, we are earning the money from them, indirectly helping them, or we are getting the karmas from there also, because the money is earned by us is by the serving them. It's same. Because of that one here, both of our the Abir Khas, and they have told that they are lower.
Yeah.
Now, our solution, as you told us, we can keep a solution by connecting with our sadhana.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you explain a little bit more deeper in that one? How to connect with the sadhana, charity? Because in this hearing with this one, it will give like guilt inside. And
Yes, Prabhu.
somewhere we are trying to, give up from everything from here and go back to India or serve our place or the Guru Maharaj, wherever we want to go to. But similarly, we need our family, other things are there. So we'll stick
Prabhu.
in between, like, pendulum, which side we
Yes,
have to
Prabhu.
go, and thinking will be not stable. So how
Yes,
to
Prabhu.
achieve this goal, that although we are serving here, but we should not incur the karmas which should come from or we how can utilize that, neutralize that karma which is coming because of the earning money here.
Yeah. Prabhu, this question, I don't know how much I could able to explain. But I wanted to share my experience, Prabhu. Shastric points and all, first, as you are also a student of Bhakti Vaibhava, so what are the main points, what are the vital points for our spiritual life? First of all, we have to note it down. Okay. Actually, what is that? What is that word? Atma Parishilana. I forgot that word. Introspection.
Yes.
By the grace of my Siksha Gurus, one of my first Siksha Guru is Grace Ravi Gopal Prabhu from KKD. He trained us in such a nice way. I am always indebted to him. And His Grace Revati Raman Prabhu also trained us very. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Prabhu, घर में chanting program चल रहा है साथ में. So His Grace Revati Raman Prabhu, he is very much particular in practical aspects. Even Ravi Gopal Prabhu also. So they trained, especially, first we need to note down the all points. Then introspection, regular introspection. It is not like once in a blue moon. No. In fact, especially Revati Raman Prabhu stresses this point very much. Every Ekadashi, actually, he habituated us in that way. Prabhu mentioned every Ekadashi we have to keep for the day of introspection. So we need to do introspection. Last 15 days, last Ekadashi, this Ekadashi, what I did. Especially our primary point is, how is my chanting? And by maintaining one more point also, chanting diary. You might have heard many senior devotees, they maintain their chanting diaries. I don't know how many of you gone through this one. His Grace Mahatma Das Prabhuji mentioned so many examples. Almost 99.9 Srila Prabhupada disciples, they maintain their chanting diary. And they expresses their chanting each day experience. Maybe in 2 lines or maybe some pages, they express very honestly. Means it is not like that. Our condition, how is our condition? Somebody ask Mataji, Prabhuji, how is your chanting? We will say, wonderful, very fantastic, we will say. But we need to express ourselves very honestly. Where I am. So by expressing ourselves in honestly, we can understand where we were. Then after that, we should, the next portion, next chapter, means next level, we should approach our mentors or our Siksha Gurus. Because our Diksha Gurus, we are very far, we are not very much fortunate to associate with them very frequently. So we should get their association. That is also. And I asked His Grace Jagat Sakshi Prabhu when he came to our house, then I asked usually one question I'll ask. Because you're asking so many questions, we no use until and unless we practice. We have to practice also. So that checklist is very important, Prabhu. And that checklist progress, we need to share our mentors also. We need to discuss with our mentor. That is also very important. Then Jagasakshi Prabhu, when he came, he mentioned to give charity. Because Vanaprasthas no income, Brahmacharis no income, and Sannyasis no income. Actually, it is the duties of our householders, Grahasthas. We are having the duty to maintain them. Srila Rupa Goswami Path gives a formula of 50% to contribute. But in our present condition, with our responsibilities, we are not in such a position. So, as much as possible, we should contribute, whether very little amount also. But it is a etiquette when the senior devotees comes, especially to Yatra. Our Yatra, we are very fortunate. Many senior devotees are coming and giving association. That time, last, you remember, na Prabhu, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj came. Maharaj were asking, for tribal fund, Mataji devotees, he requested, at least you contribute 1,000 per month. He was asking like that.
Yeah.
So, even though it is little contribution, but you should have plan also. Okay, I am getting this much salary. So, how much I can able to contribute? You can maintain that table also, Prabhu. That this works. If you are getting high salary, you can contribute high amounts of charity. But it doesn't matter how much you are contributing, but it is matter whether you are giving or not. Means you are giving means where you are planning. That thought is in your consciousness, right? If
Yes,
that
ma'am.
consciousness is there, until and unless you can't contribute, na? So
Yes.
Lord will see that only. Endeavor only, and Lord will see. But if you are having so much, then you are giving very little. Lord will not appreciate. That
Yes.
will according to your capacity. Especially this helped me a lot, Prabhu. And pilgrimages with the going tirthas with devotees, especially. This also helps. And we should learn which devotees we have to associate and which devotees we should keep formal relation. This is also makes a very difference, Prabhu. When I started, especially many devotees are here present. That is also my great fortune. I have got very good fortune. All our Bhakti Vaibhava students are very, very I am very fortunate to associate with them. And especially I can say, my brother, Kanai Prabhu has changed a lot my life. And I don't know whether Radharani Mataji is here or not. Radharani Mataji, we read every day Bhagavatam, 1 hour, all Matajis. Many times I mentioned, for me, I can say, Prabhu, there is a lot of transformation. And mostly my beloved Lord, Sri Jagannath. That is also. So many experiences I have came through, Prabhu, especially when I try to tie the Jagannath's pagadi, especially I can say. Before and all, I am out of my capacity, how I can able to make these type of. Now you are seeing the back of my pagadi, back of my, that is out of my capacity actually. I don't know anything, means zero. But by associating devotees, Lord has arranged in a way, Jagannath has showered mercy. I could able to associate with the Pune devotees, and they have taught personally each and every time. If I meditate, the outcome is good. The same time I am experiencing this also. If I am not meditating, if I am not praying, even this class also, if I am taking the mercy of the devotees, if I am praying the devotees, I am praying sincerely, asking, begging the mercy, that time class will come good. Actually, I prepare something else, I speak something else. Many times I have noticed. Many times I have noticed.
It happens.
So,
it happens.
This is a practical checklist, Prabhu. For me, it has helped a lot, Prabhu. Other devotees and all, I don't know. I can able to tell.
Madaji, share with me what practical list you have made, checklist for you. And
First
list.
point is chanting, Prabhu. Chanting, service, reading, and charity, then pilgrimages. These 5-6
Okay.
points especially I will follow. Top one is chanting, Prabhu.
Ji Mataji.
But
I
I'm telling the truth honestly. Some
No, no,
days
it's
I
good.
maintained that my chanting diary, but some days
Yeah.
I couldn't able to
Okay.
maintain. But every Ekadashi, I will think how my chanting. Unfortunately,
Introspection is good, yes.
introspection, Prabhu. Unfortunately, my growth is not that much feeble, but somehow it is going up. But I can feel the difference when I am associating with the devotees and when I am serving purely, how especially Lord is very merciful. If I am in a very critical position, or sometimes now we will feel like, ayo, now there is no way what I can do. That time somehow the wave opens and the Lord will make arrange. That I have experienced many times.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
So elaborate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mataji, last question we will take from Chandani Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Please
Krishna,
accept
Mataji.
my pranam. It was very wonderful class. Ma'am,
Mataji, sorry, Mataji, your voice is not audible, Mataji, clear. Your voice is not clear.
Audible Mataji.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Mataji.
1 minute. Mataji audible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Tell me, Mataji.
Mataji audible voice.
Yes, Mataji, better.
Mataji, my question is, Mataji, you are telling about the 10 type of sanskara, like from Garbhatarana to the last episode. So, Mataji,
Yeah.
somehow or other, we skipped due to lack of information, or we cannot do the sanskara. So, Mataji, does it affect our lifestyle, or if we are doing bhakti, so these sanskara are mandatory to follow?
Once you are into bhakti, that is fine, Mataji. But it is not like that, okay, we are in a bhakti, so we don't need to do samskaras. No. Like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, it comes. We see Mahaprabhu is doing the Pinda Tarpana to his father in Gaya. We see that one. So even though we are in the bhakti, if we follow the samskaras, it will help like elevator, Mataji. Means it acts like elevator so that you could able to progress in bhakti little bit faster. So samskaras, especially minimum, these 10 samskaras are, if you follow, it will be very good, Mataji. But in a case like if you are not in a position to follow, because wherever your circumstances are not cooperating, then you have to pray the Lord. My dear Lord, I wanted to follow, but I am not in a position to follow that thing. You have to do, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, just before, I know it is already late. As you said about charity, but sometimes we give charity and we give charity to devotees also, but we expect something in return, so that devotee will think about me. When I will go to India, he will, do some like. So in Bhagavad Gita, as you said, if you wish something return, then that is in the mode of passion.
Yes.
So actually, we should give a charity to the right candidate, but we should not expect any kind of return, even like that.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Actually, these are the practical problems each one of us facing, Prabhu. Again, I can say we have to be intelligent enough to pick. We have to get escape from them. If sometimes when we are getting these kinds of problems, that is totally, it is present condition only, Prabhu. There is no what we can say. It totally depends upon our intelligence and our tactics. Because sometimes now we see temple pujaris and temple devotees also, they will expect. I know, Prabhu, I can understand very well, because I have also gone through that one. It entirely depends upon our this one. But in my case, I'm very fortunate to have my Prabhu. My Prabhu look after all these, and I discuss everything with my Siksha Gurus Prabhu. His Grace Ravi Gopal Prabhu, I think many of you all knows him. He's a teacher from Mayapur Institute also. Many of KKD devotees they knows. So by discussing them, maybe hardly yearly once or twice only I will meet him. It is not like that if most of the time I meet. No, only yearly once or twice. That too hardly. But in that time, Prabhu gives very nice guidance, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. I could able to share only little with my limited knowledge points. There are many points actually. Glorifying the Supreme Lord is not an ordinary thing. Even Anantadeva couldn't able to glorify. So please forgive for my mistakes, and thank you so much for the opportunity given. Thank you. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnav Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Shall we stop here, Prabhu?
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandatnam. We'll stop the class here. Next week, Nikhil's Prabhu will announce in the group. We'll be the
Yes.
speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.